Hey guys, this is Bobby, and today I'm going to give you guys some tips so that you can get a little bit of shoulder pain and you can actually train your chest without shoulder pain. So oftentimes when people have shoulder pain, it's usually doing push movements. So bench press, dumbbell press, even like flies, even some tricep push downs. And oftentimes comes from an imbalance, a really tight muscle in the front, very weak muscle in the back. So I'm going to give you 3 tips to either reduce pain or eliminate pain, and then be able to actually press, because the worst thing is being in so much pain that you actually can't do the movements properly, or you can't do the movements at all because it's so fucking painful. So first thing is make sure you do a proper warm-up. So like simply a proper warm-up would be make sure you release this muscle. So maybe like, I'm big on lacrosse balls, releasing it, rolling out tender spots, go into a stretch, some activation drills. So a lot of time with activation drills for the upper body, it's going to be more upper back stuff. So like it might be like pull pots or face pulls, and then you want to go into some prep stuff. Okay, that's just going to put the joint in a better position, and you're going to stabilize the joint more. Okay, and I would even do that every day, because that's just going to over long term really get your posture correctly, and that makes all the difference. A lot of times pain comes from your body not being in the right position, not necessarily that you're like really injured. So that's tip 1. The second tip is get a pump in the upper back. Again, if you're really tight here, you do a crappy warm up, and then you kind of internally rotate it, and you start doing bench presses and dumbbell presses and flies, all these chest exercises. It creates a really imbalance, and like I said before, an unstable joint. So what we want to do is open everything up and stabilize that shoulder joint, so when we do our press exercises, it doesn't hurt, maybe at least not as much. So we want to get a pump in the upper back muscle. So make sure we do a proper row. You can do any row you like here. You can do a cable row. I have straps, so we do a lot of strap rows. You can do one-arm rows. Make sure you kind of get a stretch with your lats here, so your shoulder blades is moving. And then pull through, squeeze. Make sure you're not doing this or this. You want proper activation here. And if you do this, you're not going to activate your upper back, which is what some people do. So so I would go heavy with that, maybe 3 sets of 8, okay? Really push the weight, but make sure the form is good. And then after that, I'm gonna do a high rep activation for the upper back. So I can lay on my chest, do T-hold, squeeze my shoulder blades together. But my favorite could be like a bent over fly. But I really like pull pots here. And these should be higher reps. So if you're doing your heavy row for 8, this would be 20. So then you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. Okay, you can do a pull pot. Make sure, again, you take your time with this, because you're really trying to like activate the upper back. You should feel like your upper back is pumped after you do these. So once you do like 3 sets of that, maybe 4 sets, you're gonna feel like a really pumped in the upper back. Now this is when you can do the press movements. Now you might go into your regular press movements and you might feel good. Now, if you still don't feel good, you probably want to do more shoulder-friendly push and press movements. So example, if you really like doing a bench press, take the bench away, put the barbell in a rack and lay on the floor and do a floor press. This is going to limit the range of motion, which makes it a lot more shoulder friendly. Another thing you can do is put like a block or a foam roll on your chest. Your buddy can hold it and lower that to the block or foam roller and press. Again, that's going to limit the range of motion, make it a lot more shoulder friendly. Especially with bench, because this happens with bench so much that your arms come, especially if you're a taller guy, your arms come too far behind your back, puts a lot of pressure on that front shoulder. So you can do that. You can stop doing bench presses and doing dumbbell presses with like a 45-degree grip or a neutral grip. So a lot of times people go like this. Again, this shoulder angle isn't the best. When you press, ideally we want to kind of be here, but even having your thumb straight up is going to make it a lot more shoulder friendly. You could do, if you always do presses, you can start to do more push-ups. Push-ups are a lot more shoulder friendly, because when you're lying down, your shoulder blades can't move, and that takes away from the function of the shoulder. So when you do push-ups, your shoulder blade can move with your shoulder. It's a lot more functional. So those are 3 tips. Do a proper warm-up, do more mobility, get an upper back pump before you do chest, and then if you need to, do more shoulder friendly chest exercises. And another tip with that one is make sure you at least balance them out. So you should do the same amount of work that you do with your push exercises that you do with your upper back exercises. And tell you the truth, you should probably do more. So you should do like maybe more reps and sets of upper back work than push work, and that's really going to balance things out. Because you got to think is everything in everyday life, we're always doing things in front of the body. We're not really pulling a lot of things out, and that's going to lead to less pain, and you're going to actually be able to do some chest exercises, which you probably like to do without so much pain.